Hi there! So, do you feel like your voice is breathy, unclear, or would you describe it as weak? Today I'm giving you 5 exercises to start shifting your breathy voice to a clear voice. So why does a breathy tone happen? Oftentimes it's just because the vocal folds are closed too loosely. They're not coming together fully when singing, and air is just kind of leaking through. So it may happen possibly in your low range, right? You may get a little more breathy down there. It could be happening in the upper part of your range when you're kind of feeling that head voice a little bit. Or for some of you, it may be happening throughout the entire vocal range. So here I have one suggestion. Actually, I have many, but here's one right off the bat. As you cultivate a more clear tone, remember not to push. Don't go into the opposite extreme of driving the sound. Many singers come to me for help and they have 2 voices, right? They've got breathy voice or pushed voice, and we're going for balance here. So my suggestion is to really identify where you need to focus with the exercises that I'm going to give you. I want you to just start in the middle of your range and then just slowly work down. And then slowly work up and find where you need to focus on finding the balance for your unique voice. So, singing with a breathy tone. Yes, because I can hear you kind of going, wait a minute, what about when I want to sing my song and I want it to be more intimate? Yes, singing with a breathy tone can be an effective artistic choice, right? It can bring intimacy and vulnerability to a song. But I want us to always choose that breathiness, that color as a vocal artist, and not have it just be a default because we don't know how to produce a clear and healthy tone, right? There's a big difference. Choice is a powerful thing when we are telling stories in song. So, before we begin the exercises, I would like you to first observe whether you might be using too much breath when you're singing. Sometimes when we think, gosh, my voice is kind of weak or it's a little bit breathy, we start overcompensating and we try harder to make a louder, more powerful tone by just running a ton of breath through the throat. This is not efficient and doesn't optimize those wonderful natural resonators that you already have built into your vocal mechanism. So here's an example. I like to think of it like this. So imagine that I hand you a trumpet or a saxophone, a clarinet, a flute, right? And you blow through that. Let's say, what about those recorders when we were in elementary school, or a harmonica, and you blow through it. Too much blowing, too much breath distorts the sound, right? We've all explored that, even with that little recorder that we had in elementary school. So finding a balance of breath in those instruments allows the instrument to function well and produce a quality tone. And the same goes for your voice. Too much air, it distorts it. Too little air, we're not going to get any sound either. So we're always kind of going for a little bit of breath balance. So make sure that you don't have a belief about your singing that is causing you to drive too much air through the vocal folds. Make sure that you're not trying to overcompensate. We want efficient use for those resonators. Okay, so to create a clear, balanced tone, we want to allow the vocal folds to come together without leaking any air while we're singing. So what we're going to do is we're going to strategically use some voiced consonants to gently bring those vocal folds together, and then we're going to open up to a vowel. Why do I love vowels? Because vowels, right, are what carry our sound in our song. So we're going to open up to a vowel and practice what that feels like. The goal is to not have it be as breathy. So now remember, a voiced consonant is a consonant that engages the vocal folds and allows you to create a pitch on that consonant. So an example is a V. I can pitch it. You can hear a pitch when I'm singing the V, making the V. And M is another one. Right? A Z is another one. Zzz, okay? That's a voiced consonant. An unvoiced consonant, just so you know, the opposite side, is a consonant that we can't pitch, like a P. No matter how hard we try to think a pitch, can't happen, okay? On a K, We can do softer or louder, but we can't pitch it. And S is the same thing. S, right? Unvoiced consonant. We're not going to use those today. So let's start by feeling the voiced consonant Z, okay? And I'm just going to make a Z sound. Do it with me, okay? Zzz, zzz. I'm just going to slide up and down. Now, this is a place where you can check in to make sure that you're not blowing too much air or that you're not not engaging enough, right? We want to find, again, we're looking for breath balance. So we're not driving the Z, zzz, right? We're also not zzz, zzz, a little bit of breath energy, nice balance, and I'm not feeling a ton of air coming out of that Z. Zzz. Of course, it's buzzing where I'm making that Z, right? Excuse me. So now let's add a vowel, any vowel. I have my favorites. You may have a favorite. Play around with all of them as we have to sing all of them, right? So, zoo, zoo, zoo. I'm feeling for that transition between the Z and I'm going to the oo and I'm feeling where that breath balance is. Okay, I'm finding that I'm not going to drive that oo. I'm not going to back off on that oo. I'm trying to keep the same feeling between the Z and the oo vowel. Okay, let's try it again. I'm starting on C4. Start on whatever pitch you want. Zzz, not too much air is coming out. Zzz, now, if you're worried that you're not making enough sound, I want to challenge that belief a little bit. Remember, we're not going to hear the sound like a ginormous sound in our head. We're going to hear it a little bit smaller, but when we're using our resonators efficiently, we're going to get that frequency of sound to be efficient, and it's going to carry. So don't worry so much about, is it loud enough? Is it big enough? I want you to feel as if, is it more clear? Is it more efficient, right? Move to an E vowel. You can work all those vowels that way. Now to test it, to see if we can get this more clear tone without the Z, we're going to sing it and then we're going to take that Z away. Isn't that fun? Feeling the same thing as the Z oo and then take the Z away. The Z is helping us get those vocal folds to phonate, to make sound into our oo, taking the Z away, still feeling the oo in that same fashion. That's how you're going to practice that, okay? Now we're going to move on to another consonant. That's a voiced consonant. I love to give people lots of choices when they're exploring because you might be like, the Z feels weird, but wow, the V feels awesome, okay? So let's try the V. It may tickle, right? But I'm still not driving tons of air. I can feel it. Right? Up and down. Now I'm on C4 again. I'm going to use an ah. Ah is a harder vowel for me because it loves to just open and fall out the mouth. So I'm going to practice with the V to see if I can keep that clear tone on the ah. Now I'm going to take the V away. right? See if you can feel that ah as a more clear, efficient tone with that V setting you up for success, okay? Let's try the word V. Yeah, I just did that one naturally, right? Just kind of cut it and like feel that V. That transition is very important. Don't do too much. Don't feel like you have to snap into an E vowel. Really kind of morph into that E vowel, feeling that you don't really have to move a lot. It's not where all of a sudden everything drops, air comes gushing out, right? We talk about in previous lessons how everybody feels sound a little bit differently, right? For me, I feel that E pretty high. If I open my mouth too much and send too much air out into that E, I feel it way in the mouth. I don't want that. That's not the best resonator right here, okay? And that's going to create that weak, gauzy, fuzzy, airy sound. Okay, what's another yummy consonant that makes sound is an M. A lot of us do ma, 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 me, 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 me. Extra, I'm like, why? This is why. M is an awesome connector for sound. I'm not trying to create a big ginormous sound, but I know that you're hearing me. And yes, I have amplification, but it's also I'm feeling the resonance work for me, right? What note am I on? I went to an F sharp, let's go to a G. I'm not doing moo, air gushing out my mouth. Ma, not doing that. Me, right? Nope. Moo, me. They're much closer together. That M to that U, much closer together than you think. You do not have to have a huge open mouth to create a really clear tone that carries through a microphone or in a room, okay? Another consonant that I want you to play with is the N. Play with that a little bit, yeah? Ni, ni, e, na, a, no, a. I love to do these with you so you can see the example. I take my time feeling that transitions, and I've been doing this for a long time, right? But I'm really trying to focus on what I am feeling. You are going to feel a more clear sound. Yes, you'll hear it as well, but you're going to feel it. You're going to sense, oh, that doesn't have as much around it, okay? Awesome. And so this is a great consonant. One last consonant is a B. B, 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 right? B, 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 b. Let's try it. Let's do boo boo. Boo 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 boo. Boo 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 boo. I'm not doing boo 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 boo. Tons of too much out my mouth, right? Use the soft palate. Use that beautiful pharynx we got going on in there. Let things resonate. Let it be intimate. It's okay. Boo 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 boo. Not a lot of air moving out my mouth. Okay? Now, what if we did boo, 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 boo. Testing each one. Boo, boo. can ditch the B, right? Then you can look at your songs and say, what vowels am I holding out here? And am I just allowing too much air through? Let me use one of these consonants instead on this word to test it. How can I get that clarity? Because already I know you can feel like, oh, this is working, right? And so one last one, I said the B was the last one. You can also use a G, 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 right? G, 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 g. Ga, 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 ga. It brings the vocal folds together too. Ga, 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 ga. Ha, 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 ha. Ga, 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 ga. Okay? Fun. Now you've got some tools. You've got some examples of me doing them. Now you can play with them on your own. And if in the beginning, if you just really want to hang out on the M, to feel what it's like to make sound without sending a ton of air through, perfect. Same thing with the V, and the Z. Zzz, just feel what that's like. To feel and allow those vocal folds to come together without you having to do a ton of work, okay? So do these exercises. Doing these exercises will actually start to build the muscle memory and breath balance, right? For a clear, beautiful tone. Practice them throughout your range. Remember, singing should never hurt, right? Allow the feeling of your voice to inform you and how to move forward. Commit to tension-free singing this year, okay? No more vocal fatigue or strain, which can happen if you're sending too much air through the vocal mechanism. So 3 resource videos that I made if you want to continue to develop a clear tone, here they are. So the NG is a great one to play with, and here's the link to that. The straw video that I did, awesome way to find balance in the breath and bringing those vocal folds together, okay? That's a cool video. And also I did a video on the goo goo goo, just that alone, so you can practice the g g g g goo 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 goo, and here's the link to that. So if you find, here we go, if you find that you're chronically breathy when you sing and when you speak, you may want to book an appointment with a board-certified laryngologist, okay? He or she can then look at your vocal folds just to make sure that everything is functioning in a healthy and beautiful way. Enjoy these exercises and please let me know how it goes. I always love to hear from you and I so appreciate your comments. And if you want to, I do this every week, you can subscribe. Okay, until next time, rejoice in your voice. Bye-bye.